Today, I want to talk about certain things that you absolutely, seriously, no joke, have to keep away from a narcissist if you want to protect what you value, and that includes your peace. I mean, peace when you live with a narcissist isn't something that you experience, but if you don't hide these things that I'm about to mention here today, you'll look back and find that your life was actually a piece of cake before that. So, hi everyone, Deanna King here, and this channel is all talk narcissism and codependency. So, that being said, let us begin. Living with a narcissist is a challenge, and because you're a constant target, you have to be hyper vigilant if you're to protect yourself. Because although you go through all your times, your nights, your days alone, and feel completely ignored, they're actually paying way more attention than you think. These people are watching your every move. They watch every behavior, including how you bite your lip when you're stressed. They're constantly watching your body language or any change in behavior because they trust no one and they need to be controlling every situation at all times. Matter of fact, if you have friends over while they're out and about, chances are they're driving by to watch which vehicles are there. They're collecting information, and it's so frustrating because here you are starving for attention from them. They completely ignore you and make you feel uninteresting and stupid, yet they take all this time checking up on you. It's disgusting. It isn't love, it's ownership. They don't want to lose you because you're serving them in some form or another, whether it's financial, a place to stay, a car to drive, or a cook. And they will do what it takes to hold on to that. It isn't you that they're holding on to. It's the cook that they don't want to lose. It's the home that they want to keep. It's the finances that make their lives easier, not you as a person. And as much as they leave you alone night after night, as they scroll their phones or their computers, their social media, they feel safe because you're there somewhere in the house in case they need supply. Because the narcissist cannot stand to be alone. Being alone to a narcissist is something they just can't handle. And well, you're available anytime they need to chat. You're available to listen with an open heart if they want to talk about their awful day. But when it comes to your turn to need them, if you had a bad day, you're basically told to get over it, or it's turned into, what did you do to cause the conflict at work? See, it's always your fault, right? You're not there for your needs. That's a nuisance to them. You're there for their needs. And in order to assure that their needs are constantly met, they need to monitor everything at all times, aka control. So while you think that they don't care about you, you're right. But they definitely care about losing you. So let's look at an example of what I mean by that. Let's say that you have a job and you hate that job. The pay sucks, the boss is hard to handle, and the job itself is exhausting. But there aren't any other jobs available out there. So as much as you don't love your job, you don't want to lose it, right? You'll do what it takes to keep that job. You'll show up on time, you'll produce, and you'll even do overtime. You're controlling your environment because as much as you don't care about the job, you don't want to lose it either because it benefits you. And so it is with the narcissist. Now, the narcissist certainly won't do overtime with you nor try to produce romantic evenings. They won't go about trying to keep you by supporting your needs. But what they will do is monitor for control. That's their effort. That's their work. And at one point, you'll start questioning their behavior, as we all do. Things they do are so odd that you'll find yourself Googling the behavior until one day you might find a blog that talks about narcissism, and finally you're getting answers. And these blogs end up leading you to YouTube videos. And next thing you know, you're binge watching YouTube videos on the topic. These videos, they become your lifeline because they're finally affirming what you already know without the cognitive dissonance being in the way momentarily. And then you hear about books about abuse, like why does he do that? Excellent book, by the way. I'll leave a link down below if anyone wants to check it out. Or Pete Walker's book, which is really popular, I'll leave that link down below also, because that one too is an excellent read. So let's say that you've done that. You've ordered books on narcissism or picked something up at the library. Well, congrats on your books, but the first thing you want to do is hide your books if you're studying up on narcissism. I'm serious. If it's a book like Why Does He Do That, they're going to realize that you're on to them, and that is going to send them into a fury. You will become their number one enemy, because how dare you look inside of Pandora's box? They will do more to put you down. They will create deeper cognitive dissonance in you to confuse you further, to traumatize you further. For example, they might suddenly do something nice for you, and it isn't hard with you because all they have to do is throw you a cookie crumb, right? It can be a statement like, let's go for a ride, which they never do. Or they might take you to a restaurant or entice you into having sex, whatever it is. They've pushed the nice norm higher, and suddenly you feel hope. Then with a snap of a finger, they turn on you using an excuse to do it that might make you feel as though it's your fault. While you're in an emotional state, they'll do things like name calling, telling you that it's all your fault when they were just trying to do something nice for you. They might threaten to leave using your abandonment wound to further traumatize you. And when a person is in an emotional state, everything being said goes directly into the subconscious mind. It's your fault. It's your fault I'm upset. You were practically throwing yourself at the server, and don't pretend that that didn't happen. It's your fault the whole night went sideways. Every time I try to do something nice, you always manage to mess up the mood. And then you wonder why I get upset. It's because of you. This is why I don't take you anywhere. When a victim of narcissistic abuse is re-traumatized, the cognitive dissonance does not let them walk away. A healthy person wouldn't take it because they're clear on their values, their self-worth. They don't experience cognitive dissonance. But the victim of abuse does. And so instead, their system shuts down. They freeze. Their mind goes blank. Their body goes still. And all they can do is stand there absorbing the blow, because the trauma has trained them to survive, not escape. And this is exactly why you have to hide what you're learning. Because once a narcissist realizes that you're waking up, they don't get better. They get nastier. They'll snoop. They'll search. They dig. They go through your drawers, your bags, your phone, your browser, even your personal journals. If you keep one, hide that also, because they're going to twist your private thoughts into ammunition. Anything that exposes their behavior becomes a threat to the control that they depend on, and they will punish you for knowing too much. They'll also take the books that you've been reading and turn them against you. Everything that's said in these books will be finger pointed back to you. See, you're the narcissist. You're projecting. You're the narcissist and you need help. Finding your books will lead to nothing good, believe me, so hide them. Which brings me to the second thing that you absolutely need to hide: your YouTube history. Yes, they check that too. You want to erase your YouTube history every time you watch anything regarding narcissism. And some of you in desperation have already sent or thought to send a video so that they would finally get it. Big mistake. This will get turned against you. I've seen this happen time and time again with victims of abuse. They really hope that by the narcissist watching these videos that describe step by step how a narcissist behaves, that they'll clearly finally see the things that they've been doing and have these aha moments and go for help. But those are the very things that they don't want you looking at. Those are the things that they're hiding. The absolutely worst thing that you can ever do to a narcissist is expose them. And that's what you're doing when or if you do this. If you haven't yet, please don't, because you'll be saving yourself a lot of grief. And if you have already, here's what you can expect. A lot of them will actually start binging these videos on the subject, not because they're seeking help, but because they're looking for an in to sabotage you. They're learning all of the lingo so that they can start talking to their friends about your behavior. And it'll sound so legit because they really seem to know what they're talking about. They have the language. They know all the top dogs on YouTube. So why would they know all these people if they weren't concerned, right? They're concerned, all right. They're concerned about being exposed. Another thing that they can do, and I've seen this firsthand, is contact some of these content creators talking about their concerns. And once the content creator emails back, bam, they now have proof of how concerned that they've been so that they can show it to others. And now you're the narcissist in everybody else's eyes. And believe me, they're not going to be deleting these emails. They'll also start sending YouTube videos to family members showing their concern about you. Some of these videos may not be on narcissism because lack of empathy might not convince others, but they'll send videos like bipolar subjects or borderline personality disorder. And now anything that you may try to explain regarding narcissism will just make you look like a nut job. So erase all history. The less they know, the better you are. And don't think that just because your laptop is in your office that they won't go into your office, because they will. Remember, they are constantly hunting. The next thing that you want to hide is something that's of value to you, whether it's emotional value or financial value. Remember, these people exploit. If they know that you hold something dear to your heart, perhaps a trinket from a person who's passed away, they will take it from you. Not because it has monetary value, but to punish you when they're angry with you. And you might have had this trinket lying around for months, maybe even years. But make no mistake, a day might just come where it dawns on them to take it from you as a punishment and just throw it in the garbage. Never trust a narcissist with something that you value. And that also goes for things like credit card numbers or your bank cards. They might not do anything the whole time that you're with them, so you trust them. But don't be fooled, because there is a huge chance that they've written down all of that info and placed it into a safe place for a rainy day, like the day that you may walk out. You always want to keep valuables like jewelry, for example, your old wedding rings. These are of value to them. And remember, they exploit. So keep that stuff in a safe place where they have no access. And I know it's hard to believe, because if you believe who and what they are at 100%, you wouldn't be with them. But just stay on the safe side. Life protects us when we protect our own selves. It's quantum, like likes like. Number 4, if you're taking classes for healing, seeking counseling, or in a support group, the narcissist does not want you healed. Healing means eventually leaving. So stay on the hush side about that. They'll do everything in their power to stop you from attending groups or seeking out counseling sessions. They'll create so much havoc right before you leave to stop you from going. You might be doing something to your vehicle that stops you from going, or they can't watch the children at the last minute, or they need the vehicle for a very important appointment so that they just can't cancel. There was this woman who decided to get counseling, and she had told her boyfriend about it. To get there, she used her own vehicle, and he himself didn't own a vehicle. Now, he knew about her appointment for a good week, and once she got to her appointment, he started texting her over and over again, telling her that he needed the vehicle to get to some appointment he himself suddenly had. And she said that she couldn't really open up comfortably during her session because of how upset she was with his texting and the pressure that he was placing on her. By the time she got to the vehicle, and she had cut the session out short here, but by the time that she got to her vehicle, she was shaking with emotions that she couldn't even identify, because as angry as she was, the fear of his anger took precedence. Yet at the same time, she felt as though she was the bad one, even though she knew that she wasn't. Again here, cognitive dissonance. And this is exactly why you keep your healing journey private. Because when you grow, they lose grip. When you get clarity, they lose control. And nothing terrifies a narcissist more than you taking even the smallest step toward your own independence. They need you confused, insecure, exhausted, and doubting yourself, because a strong, grounded, healing version of you is a version they cannot dominate. So hide your classes, hide your counseling, hide your support groups. Your healing is sacred. Protect it. And speaking of protecting yourself, this brings us to number 5. If you're planning on leaving, extreme caution here, because if you think that you've been put through hell, you haven't seen anything until they find out that you're leaving. So gather your strength and gather your wisdom. And your wisdom, first and foremost, means that you don't say anything until your ducks are all in order. When a narcissist senses you pulling away, even just emotionally, the circular conversations will intensify to a level that feels like psychological suffocation. They're going to drain you. They're going to corner you with accusations, spin every word you say, and push you into emotional collapse 10 times more than they have in the past. They want you weak. They want you doubting yourself. The moment that they sense that you're serious about leaving, you're no longer a partner. You're a traitor. And all of the things that you've done in the past, like accusing, name-calling, yelling, etc., is going to be intensified tenfold, because now they are on a mission to get back in the driver's seat, to take back control over you and destroy you if they can't. The circular conversations and the word salading will become an everyday thing. You'll try to walk away, they'll pull you in. You're not even trying. That's the card they'll use. Or if you actually walk out, you'll get a text that might look something like, "I'm such a mess. I'm so sorry. I'm just so scared of losing you. Please come home. I'll stay calm. We really need to talk. I love you, babe. Heart, heart, heart." Now there's a text that you've never received, but when you do return, you're back to the chaos, leaving you shaking and completely void of energy. You can no longer think straight and often agree to stay just so that they'll stop. But eventually you do get your strength back and leave. But like I said, do it quietly, because leaving a narcissist isn't just an action. It is a strategy, and it requires every ounce of clarity and courage and planning that you can gather. Once you're out, the fog starts to lift. You'll begin to see every pattern that you tolerated, every wound that they poked, every cycle that they pulled you into. And that's when the real healing begins. So remember these 5 things. Hide what educates you. Hide what protects you. Hide what you value. Hide your healing. And if you're planning on leaving, hide your plan. This isn't about secrecy. It's about safety. Narcissists, they don't respect boundaries, and they don't respect your privacy. So you must protect your peace in the ways that they won't. And listen, you're not being sneaky. You're being wise. You're being strategic. You're learning to outgrow the cage that they built around you. And whether you're still in the relationship, preparing to leave, or already free, every step that you take towards awareness is a step toward reclaiming yourself. So if this video helped you, please share it with someone who needs clarity. And if you're in this situation right now, I want you to know that you're not alone and you're not crazy. You're in survival mode, and you will get through this. So thank you for watching. And as always, take care of yourselves, and we shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.